I believe it is a factor, but
I forgot the press.
she always talk about me. All right, so assimilate. So that's what I really believe it is. Like, but and then what I also despise is the loyalty factor. Mm-hmm. Cops feel like they gotta be loyal to that group.
Right.
So even when they see things that are wrong, they feel that they gotta be loyal. But to me, that whole loyal thing is an issue for me because y'all have that in y'all church too. Y'all have that where y'all be loyal to y'all pastors. Y'all know they be raping people and everything. Y'all don't say nothing. It's the same. And you know, I'm kind of getting serious. I'm about to get real serious and real deep. But that loyalty thing needs to be reconsidered and rechecked. You know what I'm saying? Because just like in the police department, just because you are police and you know that there's improper policing, you know there's a lot of improper things that's going on, but because of loyalty, you know what I'm saying? You turn your cheek and act like you don't know what's going on. And I'm telling you, I've seen that not just as far as police are concerned, but I also see that in the church and in other facets of communities.
And it seems like the communities where they're supposed to protect. Police departments, churches, you're supposed to feel
and do the opposite.
You're supposed to protect, and they
stay there, preach the gospel. I said stay there.
Oh, I was reading.
Yo, I'm telling you, the God's on shoot. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a good point. And it's like, I could never understand that. Like, how can you know that somebody in your police department has done something really traumatic? Killing and take...
That person? What is that? Who is this? This person?
Oh yeah, Naila, she's good. You want to let her in?
So we have 5 minutes.
We're gonna let Naila in. She's actually information, very knowledgeable. So we're gonna let her come in.
And for those of you that's on my IG, you will be able to hear her, but you won't be able to see her. So it's coming.
Hey!
Hola. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Is my light? I turn mine up?
Yours is up already.
Nah.
We can hear that you're saying something. We just can't hear what you're saying.
Come on now. We need to hear you, girl. You got a lot of good stuff to say. Can you hear us? Oh man.
She said she can hear us fine. I can read her. I can make out her lips, but I can't hear.
Oh, now she froze.
Okay. I think she hung up.
All right, so hopefully she can come back, guys. But yeah, so we're still talking about this.
Yeah, we're talking about police reform. Those of you that are on
Just
YouTube, I had forgot to press play. Record, but we're talking about police reform, and just a synopsis, we're talking about, it being against minorities, since we don't want to say the blacks, so being against the minorities, and these are places that are supposed to protect us, and we're looking for protection. Like Coach Steve said, even in a church is a sense of loyalty that it shouldn't be, because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. On my board in my classroom, I have a motto up there that says, what's wrong is wrong when everyone is doing it, and what's right is right even if you're the only one doing it. So if it's what's right is right, okay? Right. So, and then in school, it's funny because in my class that I'm taking, my professor said that opinion, we can't live off of opinion. And it kind of bothered me because I'm like, ethics and morality is opinions, because depending on what culture you're in and what part of the world you're in, our moral ethics is not the same
as
in the Middle
else's.
East.
Exactly.
And when we're talking about like child, how old you should be getting married, we shun upon, oh my gosh, she's only 13 and she was with someone.
But some other culture think that's the way.
Morality is opinion.
Right.
Ethics is opinion.
Right.
So, I mean, but anyway, that was a sidebar because it kind of bothered me, but I wasn't going to go back and forth with him because I need that A. But yeah, so when it comes to protection and when it comes to doing the right thing and when it comes to being scared, and we're literally afraid, we have babies that's afraid of the police now because of everything that they're seeing in the media and the killings and stuff. So now when we have little kids, if something happens, you teach your child to dial 911. If something happened to mommy or something happened to daddy, call the police, you know. And these kids are afraid to call because they would rather try to figure it out on their own than have the police come.
And something happened, you know what I'm saying, that we see happen all the time. So, I mean, but, you know, it's crazy because I have a nephew. He's the only one that's here. Also, my niece is here as well. But he's 8 years old. And this boy makes me so happy. And I cannot see life without this little man.
Right.
I literally can't see my life without him. And he's not even my kid. He's my sister's kid. But because he's the only one, we put all of our time, love, and energy into this little man. So how dare you?
Right.
Think you can effing take my kid?
Yep.
How dare you? And you know what's crazy? You do this to them, they will set everything ablaze.
Right.
You touch their child, you can forget it. And I'm going somewhere that I probably should not be going. So I'm going to dial it all the way back. But my point is, look, there are consequences to taking something that belongs to me.
And the crazy thing is, when we're looking at, and this is just my opinion, and it's not moral or ethical, but it's my opinion. I just don't see, and what people always get or say, and then they get mad when people bring it up. And I don't care if you get mad; I could care less. When we're looking at abuse and abuse of power from these police and stuff like that, and people say, well, we're abusing ourselves. No one wants to hear that. Oh my gosh, well, we're not talking about us. No, it is us, because if we protected each other enough, then no one else can take advantage of us in a society. Like when you become one, no one can take advantage of you if you're united, and we're not united. So when we have all of this anger and hostility, and we're mad and we're rioting, why is Zimmerman still walking around? I don't get it. We're big, bad, and tough when it comes to each other, but then these things happen and nobody responds or reacts. No.
And then I thought it was, I know they talked about there's still a remnant of the Black Panthers.
Yes.
There is another group that's called and another group called We Ain't Effing Around. It's something like that.
I don't know about
they supposed to be. Yes. Now Nayela, she is not on, but she said has something to do with our history. I can't read it.
We have to look at the history of why RUs seem to work formed and created within the society. We have to go back to the origin of the thing. I can't see either.
I know, right? Yeah, that's true. I just I don't know. I mean,
this is like we said, this is a topic that's not going anywhere, right? Because this is stuff that we deal with. This is something that, even driving, you get in your car, we want to make sure everything, we walk around the whole car before we get in. We just, even like, so a friend of mine, his son started driving. And when I found out, because his son didn't have his license yet, he only had his permit, provisional or something like that, but you still can't, just his permit, so he couldn't drive in a car without someone. And when he told me, I'm like, where is such and such? And he's like, oh, he's on his way home. I'm like, oh, his mom came to get him? No, he got his car, and I went off. I'm like, what do you mean he had? Now, this is not even my kid, but he's a young Black boy.
But you don't want to give them a reason.
Right. And I'm like, what do you mean? And you know the tags are good, the car was good, but he could have ran a stop sign and got pulled over. And as soon as they realized he can't be driving, get out the car. Like, it scared me to my core when I found out that he was driving when he wasn't supposed to be. And I'm like, you have to make better choices. And this person is older than me. But like I said, when I said that to him, he was like, you're right. It's just, easier for us to, and I'm like, I get it. But if something happens to this boy, you probably would commit suicide. Like, this boy is his entire world. So if anything happened, he wouldn't be able to breathe. Right. So it just scared me to know that this young black boy was driving in the car when he's not supposed to yet, because that fear is just like, we don't know what's going to happen, and it's just so sad that we have to live in fear driving our vehicle.
And which has to change. That has to change. So the way we deal with things definitely have to change. I'm one. So I said something.
You have to go back to the origin of things. She said it. She was voice talking.
Okay. But we've got to change how we think. I think up until now, we've done a thing a certain way, and it hasn't produced anything. It hasn't produced anything. How long have we been following the steps of the Democrats? Because we assessed that they were the only ones in our corner. They were going to make changes for minorities, let's just say. And
the origin of the Democrats was not even.
And exactly. So we need to start to understand our power, and we need to start stating what our power is and not challenging it.
Right.
We got to stop with this, we finally got Macedon finally gave us a good verdict. No, F that, burn it down. Burn it down. Until you do right by me, everything you do, I'm telling you. And I know some people probably think that I'm crazy and whatever the case may be, but listen, we've been doing this for too long. We've been trying to follow, this trend of being forgiving and understanding, even when we've been given the bottom of the barrel. It's not fair. It's not right. And until you know your worth, you won't allow certain things to exist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How can you tell your son or your daughter they're kings or queens, but you tell them to retreat from a fight?
Right.
I can never understand that, that way of thinking. I get it, but still it's like, to comply doesn't always mean you're going to come home safe. And I know a lot of you guys are going to dislike this, and I get it. I really, really do. But, at 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years of the same old junk and praying for white Jesus to come save you and deliver you, bruh, it ain't happening. So if we don't get police reform, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And then the defund the police. I think the issue with defunding the police is that you're saying take all of the money. That's not what defunding is about. Defunding is taking the access money and using it for good. We need training. Therapists. We need therapy. They need better psychological evals before they become police. Yeah. They need 6-month evals. That's we need to use that money for the embetterment. I don't think we can. First of all, we're in talking about aliens and stuff like that. We're a very primitive species. Yeah. And mentally, our capabilities, we have to be governed. We can't just do stuff on our own because we don't have the ability to do it. When you let people make their own rules and choices, it lasts for a little bit. I don't know if anybody ever heard of what is it? Is it chapter 25 with the mice? The scientist that did this experiment on the mice. He put the mice in. He gave mice everything, all the food, everything they needed, all of that stuff. And then it worked for a while. And after a while, it kept becoming a species where they were tearing each other down. They were still indulging in cannibalism, even though they had an abundance amount of food. They were still killing each other. They was reproducing at a fast rate to the point that they stopped reproducing, and then the mortality rate was increasing over the birth rate. So then at the end, it was one mouse left that kind of took over everybody else, and it got to a point where the mice started separating. You had the female mice over here that did not want to mate, that did not want to reproduce. Then you had what they call the beautiful males on one side, which they attribute to homosexuality, gay men that just don't want anything to do with women, and they started to separate themselves. So then the reproduction rate went down.
What?
He did this 25 times, and 25 times the same thing happened. So if there's no order, we will succumb to our own demise at some point. Okay. So I don't believe that we need to just not have police or not have a government or not have that, because we need structure. But we do need to use those funds to enrich and to encourage the police department and the government to check. There's no police have drug tests, but there's no drug tests in government. And cocaine only stays in your system for 24 hours. Damn. So a lot of these officers and governors and all of this stuff, we know people that serve to these people, okay? So most of these people in power are on drugs, functioning drug addicts. So we have to be able to stand together with this, because this is not going to change anytime soon, and it's not going to change until we force change. So when they're talking about rioting and burning down your own community, it's not our community that we're burning down. These are not our stores. We work here, but these don't belong to us. We don't own them. We're getting minimum wage from these jobs. So these are not burning down our community. They're burning down someone else's community that we just so happen to live in. They're not burning down houses.
Yeah, but they call us rioters, but look what happened on January 6th.
Right. And they came and tore it up. And a lot of these people are wearing black masks coming to these riots, and they are white. So it's not us. They're invoking change that we're not invoking ourselves. So they're trying to force this change upon us. But when it comes to police, we have to be able to stand together, or they're just gonna keep killing us. Yeah. It's nothing, because we can literally see these police beating up people in the community, and we're just watching. And what's the first thing we do? Take our phones out. Not to take our phones out to bring it to the prosecutor's office to say, hey, this cop beat this kid. No, we're recording it so we can put it on Instagram and Facebook. Right. No one's speaking up for anyone. So it's a difference between the street code, where it's no snitching. Snitching is when you got something to do with it and you want to get off and you tell on somebody else. That's snitching. Now, but if somebody is being abused or beaten or killed, them snitching codes go out the window, because you're protecting someone's life at that point.
But see, but that has also been something that was taught by parents and their parents before them. I can hear people saying, when it comes to stuff like that, mind your business. Don't say nothing. If you see something, just keep on walking. So to me, that's like, you don't care about humanity. For you to say to a person, don't get involved, or keep walking, mind your business. I don't think that's the proper route to take if you are concerned about other human beings. If you see somebody being accosted and being treated unfairly, I think it's your job as a human being. You know what I'm saying? To get involved, and not to allow it to happen.
Right. And also with that, we are, like, as a teacher, I tell my students all the time, don't come tell me everything. But what I do in that same sentence is tell them the things that they need to tell. If you're seeing someone getting bullied, if you're seeing someone steal, if you're seeing someone, or someone is bothering you, if your feelings are hurt. But don't tell me that somebody done took the crayon that you wanted to use, and then now they got that's because it's like when you cry wolf, bless you, no one believes you after a while. So I just make them decipher what's good knowledge to tell and what's not good knowledge. So you have to have a balance. But when somebody is being bullied, hurt,
it's almost your job. It's almost your responsibility to do it. I mean, Dad, because think about it. What if it was you?
Right.
What if it was somebody in your family? You would want... Yeah, I want to start reading this.
Entertainment, religion, education, legal, and medical. Yes, the 5 systems weren't created to serve us. Right.
Very true.
Absolutely.
Very true. That's why she needed to be on, Dad.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I know.
With the volume.
But I'm telling you, it's like, I really believe it's our responsibility. And you know what? I think we functioned back like that back then. When my mom was growing up, we had our own community.
Right.
And everybody would be involved in raising the community. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, everybody's like, you know, to themselves and don't want people to say anything, you know, but that's not working.
Right.
So we definitely got to, in order to make change, we got to do things differently.
Right. And starting with our own. So we have our own in government. We have our own in the police department. We have our own that looks like us. So we need you guys to be the change, to be the difference. Right. And it's like it's your job makes. I get it. You need your job, but sometimes when you sell your soul to the devil, you could never get it back.
Another point. Yeah. So like, come on, you need your job. Right. What the hell is that? So because you need your job, you overlook all the abuse, you overlook all the mishandling and mistreatment, you overlook all the stealing and the robbing, you overlook all of that. Right. Just because you got to keep a job. Are you kidding me? So another word that we got to get rid of, and that's integrity. Right. Because then I start to question your integrity. How much integrity do you have if you're willing to overlook this stuff? If you know somebody is raping my child and you say nothing, screw you and your integrity. You don't have none.
None. Absolutely none.
That doesn't make any sense. For you to say, you know, words like integrity and words like loyalty. Listen, if you don't actually uphold those, the actual definition of those words, don't use them. Mm-hmm. You know, our police, our Congress people, and they're supposed to be people of integrity. Our pastors, people of integrity. If you don't operate in it, don't use those words.
Right. And then the thing is, why did most people say they became cops to protect and serve.
Exactly.
Cops to make a difference.
Perfect.
But
Exactly.
then when they get there, they clam up.
Exactly.
And there's no difference being made, so then you start to become part of the problem.
Exactly.
And honestly, being a cop and a teacher are 2 jobs that you should never get if you doing it for money. It's not worth it. It's just not. You don't make enough to put your life on the line every day as a cop if you just became a cop to not make a change.
Bro, find another job. You're supposed to be saving people, helping people. If you don't hold that position or understand that concept, you should not be doing that. Find another job.
And it's plenty of jobs you can do.
There's a lot of jobs.
The thing is, that's another, this is the thing, and I think people don't understand this. To be a cop, you don't need to go to school. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything, but it's a state job or a government job. You get benefits, good benefits, retirement, all of that stuff, and you get a decent amount of money to do it without any education. So it's like, oh, let me go into this. I can live comfortably, whatever. But we don't need y'all in that position if you comfortable is not making sure we're okay. Not over yourself, but if you're gonna add on to the problem, then you might as well be sitting out here with us on the sidelines, because you're not helping, you're not solving anything. God. So it's just these type of things that we need to change. This is defunding the police. And this is police reform. This is what we need. So they're putting more, like in Durham, they added a community reform. So they added a department where, Durham, North Carolina, they added a department where it's like a community liaison type of thing. Wow. So for people that don't want to go to the police, they talk to this community liaison that is like right in the middle of the community and the police. Wow. And they can have that conversation, what's going on. So not informants, but more so like, hey, this part of the neighborhood is getting worse. This gang is whatever. Right. We need some more cops out there, like this type of thing. But then they're also doing the opposite. We don't send us. Right. It's a domestic violence. Send
exactly.
Us. You can sit in the car. let us go and talk so
Yes.
nobody ends up dead. So
Yes.
that's what they've done in Durham, which I think is an amazing idea.
Yes.
They have that in Pennsylvania too. I know this guy that I know is like a constable
Okay.
or something in Pennsylvania. So they're not cops, but they serve as law enforcement officers. So they can arrest just like a law enforcement officer.
Wow.
But in looking at them over a cop coming up, you might be more inclined to talk or express yourself or explain what was going on, stuff like that. So these are what we need when we're talking about defund. Defund what y'all been doing and use some of those funds to be more reformative and help the community that you're serving. So there's absolute communities like Bayonne. Bayonne, New Jersey has really a lot of crime. Why? Because little towns like that are communities. They're actual communities. So they have that understanding. Like, you literally can cross from Curry's Woods over to Bayonne and the garbage on the ground is different.
Totally different.
Like, it's just a different community. So people will look at it like, oh, you don't mess with the cops in Bayonne. No, you don't. But you don't have cop killings in Bayonne. You don't, they're not just popping people, that's why. But no, you know to stay out the way, you know not to make any ruckus, and you live in a decent community where it's safe. Right. So the cops are doing their job, not so much harassing, but doing their job. Right. But then you do have those as well. In every community, you have some assholes. I mean, you can't get away from that. Right. But we just need we need some reform. We need some help. So if you have some friends that are police, I don't know what we need to do. We need to start like an alliance or something, like a railroad, an underground railroad, where we have understanding
information and knowledge.
Yes, that we can trust. We can trust that you guys are actually helping and not making it worse. So we read whose husband?
Naya, who?
Says this is her husband.
Mine or yours?
On yours. I thought you were saying mine or yours. I'm like, neither one of us got husbands.
I'm like, stupid. Not yet.
No.
Wait. Who said that? I can't see it. I forget it. I can't see that.
Adelina. I think that's the one that was talking's husband.
Oh. She was saying it was him? Talking?
No, I think this is him saying this is him.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me lying.
We got to get y'all on somehow. Yeah, we both real bad. Now I can't.
We old. We need some glasses.
Nah, we old and we overtime. So.
Right. So look, guys. So we are done with our 6 weeks. That went by quick. We did six episodes already.
Oh my God.
So we are in oh yes, husband. The one that was just talking.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So if y'all have some topics that y'all want us to discuss, please send us a message in our inboxes for the next 6 weeks. So some of them we are gonna travel back to.
So can we repeat this one next week?
We can.
Okay. She seemed like she don't want to. I don't know.
Because there's a gazillion things to talk about.
I know, but I don't know. We're gonna be doing it for a long time.
I want to talk about your topic that you was trying to get into without getting into because we needed to stay on topic. But talking about integrity and stuff in the church.
Oh.
And I think that's gonna be our next topic next week.
She's the boss.
Cause he got y'all see him? He was like,
I got
no,
real.
because
I got.
And then I was laughing. Then he scared me because he was like, no, I'm serious. So we need to talk about this.
That's a real thing. And
right.
I got a lesson.
Yes.
She's been calling since 4:30.
Since we started. So, all right, y'all. It's all love. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next weekend. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Yes. So next topic next weekend.
And we're gonna try to
integrity of the church.
So y'all hear that, please? And we're gonna actually write something up, and we're gonna post it on Facebook, and we'll let you guys know what the topic is. You got some information, anything relative to these topics? Come on and say something.
He said, don't go there. We aren't ready for that.
we have to, man. We have to.
Get ready.
Yeah, man.
It's going down.
We're going to talk about that. So we'll let you guys know so you guys can stay tuned and you guys can connect with us on our next live. All right?
Bye.
Y'all take care.